Hello everybody. Today is January 11th. I didn't get a chance to make a video yesterday, so I'm going to consolidate yesterday's trades and today's into one video. So let's get started. So the first trade I did yesterday was right at market open. I got 474 calls at 0.97 per contract. I got 3 of those and I sold 2 minutes later at 1.35 per contract. So overall, this was a 39% profit. So the reason I got into this trade was the TTM squeeze on the 3-minute was on its way up, and on the 15-minute, it reversed during pre-market, so it was still ascending there as well. I could have held a little bit longer, as you could see here, but I was already up 40% at market open, so I took my money and ran. Moving on to the next trade, I took at 10:45, I got 475 calls at 0.81. I got 3 of those, and then I sold 2 of those at 1.08. And again, I sold my last one at 0.82, just above my initial entry. So that was a 33% profit there. So again, I liked that the TTM squeeze on the 3-minute and the 15-minute were ascending, and I could have avoided all this choppiness. I could have got out here when it reversed on me, but the reason I stayed in was, if you look at the 15-minute chart, it was still on its way up. So I did hold through the choppiness and sold at the peak of this. So those are my 2 trades from yesterday. So now we will move on to today's trades. So today, again, I got in at market open right at 9:30. 477 calls at 1.56, and I sold about 30 minutes later at 0.58 per contract. So overall, this is a 63% loss. It could have been avoided, so let's dive into this one. So the reason I got in was the TTM squeeze on the 3-minute was on its way up, and on the 15-minute chart, it went from red to yellow. So I thought it was going to keep going up, and it kind of did, peaked here, and then it quickly reversed on me. So ideally, I should have got out at the 9:45 mark right here, since the TTM squeeze reversed on me, but my emotions got into play and all that. So I ended up selling at 63% loss instead of 20. Let's move on to the next trade at 10:49. I got 475 puts at 1.45, and I got 3 of those, and then I added 3 more at 1.6 just a few minutes later. So I like to scale out, so I scaled out a bunch on this one. So my first exit was 2 contracts I sold at 1.74, the next 2 at 1.75, and then 1 at 2.24, and then my final contract I sold at 2.45. Overall, this was a 69% profit. So the reason I got into this one is it did bounce off the 9 EMA right here and go down. So that was my first indicator. And on the 15-minute chart over here, the TTM squeeze had a big jump down, big drop, I should say, on the TTM squeeze. So those 2 indicators is the reason I got in. And I really don't have anything I don't like on this. I scaled out, took my money at certain profit targets, and made some money. So my next trade was at 12:49. I got 3 473 calls at 1.49 per contract, and I sold 2 a few minutes later at 1.79 per contract, and then I sold my final one at 2.78. So overall, this was a 86.6% profit. Again, I liked that the TTM squeeze on the 3-minute was on its way up, and if you look at the 15-minute chart, most of the day it was on its way down, but it reversed to yellow right here, which is usually an indicator that the overall market's going to go up, and in this case it did. So that is why I stayed in most of the time. And I could have stayed in a little bit longer. As you could see on the 15-minute chart, the TTM squeeze kept on going up, but I was already up a significant amount and didn't want to be glued to my screen the rest of the day. So I just took my money and ran. So that is my trades from yesterday and today. I hope you learned a lot, and mainly on the 63% loss here. Definitely got to set your risk management, follow your stop losses, try not to let your emotions get into play, and you should be good. So see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so see you guys then.